And it says, describe a time you showed something new to someone else.
Classic Part 2 task.
And the examiner's listening for clear storytelling, detailed descriptions, the whole thing.
And don't forget the personal reflection.
So are you ready to hear how some test takers did with this one?
Let's do it.
All right, first up, we have a Band-Aid answer.
All right, you have 1 to 2 minutes to talk about this topic. You can make notes if you wish.
I'd like to talk about a time when I showed my younger cousin how to ride a bicycle.
Okay.
This happened last summer when he came to visit us during his school holidays.
Nice.
He'd never ridden a bike before, so I decided to teach him.
Good.
First, I explained how to balance and use the pedals. Then I held the back of the bike while he practiced riding slowly. After a few tries, he started to get the hang of it and was able to ride on his own.
Awesome.
I felt really happy because he was so excited and kept thanking me for teaching him. It was a nice experience because I got to spend time with him and help him learn something new.
Great job.
Yeah, clear and easy to follow.
It hits all the boxes.
Absolutely well-structured. A complete story fulfills the task.
But we're aiming for Band 9 here.
That's right.
So let's hear how another test taker approached the same cue card.
All right, remember you have 1 to 2 minutes.
I'd like to describe a time when I taught my friend how to use a graphic design tool called Canva.
Canva.
This happened about 6 months ago when she needed help creating posters for her small business. She wasn't familiar with design software, so I showed her step-by-step how to use Canva. I explained the basics like choosing templates, adding text, and customizing colors and images. Then I guided her through creating her first poster while giving her tips on making it visually appealing. I felt really satisfied because she was able to create professional-looking designs on her own after our session. It was rewarding to share my knowledge and see her gain confidence in using the tool.
Okay, that felt different.
Yeah.
What stood out to you?
The vocabulary? The second answer uses words like guided, visually appealing, and confidence.
Yeah, it just sounds more sophisticated, doesn't it?
Right.
And it's not just about using fancy words.
No, it's about choosing words that really enhance the story.
Right, like guided her through creating.
Yeah, that paints a much clearer picture than just saying, showed her how to.
It does, and I noticed the Band 9 answer focused more on the impact.
Yes.
It wasn't just about teaching the friend,
Yeah.
but empowering her to create those designs herself.
Exactly. It gives the story more depth.
It does.
And more emotion.
And I think it subtly shows a deeper understanding of what the examiner's looking for.
How so?
Well, the cue card asks for a time you showed something new.
Right.
And that newness is woven through the whole story.
Yeah, her friend not knowing design software, then gaining confidence.
Exactly.
It all connects.
And that brings us to the bigger picture of these speaking exam.
What's that?
The examiners are looking for your ability to communicate effectively.
For sure.
So using the right vocabulary, creating those vivid images with your words, understanding the task.
It all leads to a better response.
A more impactful and memorable response.
That's the goal.
That's what we're aiming for.
Absolutely.
Like the difference between a snapshot and a high-definition picture.
Yeah.
The details make the story come alive.
Exactly.
And that's what we want.
Right.
A memorable response.
Okay, so part 2.
Yeah.
That was just the warm-up.
Part 3 is where things get interesting.
Part 3 is where we really dive deep.
Yeah, we're going to flex those critical thinking muscles, express opinions, analyze issues, all that good stuff.
You're going to have to think on your feet.
So are you ready to try some Part 3 questions?
I'm ready.
All right, let's say you just finished your Part 2 story.
Okay.
And the examiner says, now let's talk about learning and knowledge more generally.
Sounds good.
How can young people be motivated to learn new things?
That's a good one.
It makes you think, right?
Yeah, it's not a simple answer.
So let's hear what our Band 8 test taker says.
Young people can be motivated by making learning fun and interesting.
Right.
For example, using games or activities can keep them engaged.
Uh-huh.
Also, giving rewards or praise can encourage them to try new things.
Solid points.
Yeah, it answers the question.
Practical suggestions.
But it could be better.
How?
More depth, more vocabulary.
Okay, so let's hear the Band 9 answer.
Young people can be motivated by creating an engaging learning environment that sparks their curiosity. Incorporating interactive methods like gamified learning or hands-on activities can make the process enjoyable. Additionally, setting achievable goals and offering positive reinforcement can boost their enthusiasm.
I noticed the Band 9 answer said positive reinforcement. It sounds more formal.
Oh, right.
Definitely.
Like professional.
It shows a wider vocabulary.
And they talked about sparking curiosity using interactive methods.
Yeah, it's not just about making learning fun.
It's about understanding how young minds work.
Exactly.
It's more thoughtful.
More analytical.
Okay, next question.
Okay.
The examiner says,
Okay.
what skills do you think children should learn before going to school?
Interesting.
So first up, our Band-Aid answer.
I think children should learn basic skills like reading simple words, counting numbers, and using good manners. These skills help them adjust better when they start school.
Makes sense.
It's practical.
Straight to the point.
But let's hear what our Band 9 test taker says. Before starting school, children should develop foundational skills, such as basic literacy and numeracy social skills like sharing and teamwork, and self-care habits like dressing themselves or tidying up their belongings.
Wow.
These abilities prepare them for both academic and social aspects of school life.
Okay, that answer covered a lot.
It did.
It's not just about academics.
No, it's about preparing for the whole experience.
Social interactions, personal responsibility.
And the way it was structured.
Yeah.
So organized.
3 key areas.
Foundational skills, social skills, self-care habits.
And that phrase, foundational skills.
I like that.
It sounds very sophisticated.
It does.
And it shows they understand how these skills all work together.
They do.
Literacy, numeracy, social skills, self-care.
A well-rounded child is ready for anything.
All right, next question.
Hit me.
The examiner asks, why are some people unwilling to ask for help from others while studying?
Oh, that's a tough one.
It is, isn't it?
It makes you think about people's motivations.
So let's hear from our Band 8 test taker.
Some people don't ask for help because they feel shy or think they might look weak in front of others. Others might prefer solving problems on their own.
I can relate to that.
I think we all can.
Sometimes you just don't want to ask for help.
Right. But the answer,
Yeah.
it could be more insightful.
It could use better language.
Okay, let's hear the Band 9 answer.
Some individuals hesitate to ask for help while studying due to fear of appearing incompetent or being judged by others. Additionally, certain people have a strong sense of independence and prefer tackling challenges on their own rather than relying on external assistance.
Wow, that answer really digs deep.
Yeah, it explores the psychology behind it.
The fear of looking incompetent, the desire for independence.
It's not just listing reasons.
And the language.
Right, we're like incompetent and external assistance.
Much more sophisticated.
Okay, 2 more to go.
The examiner asks, what are the differences between the things adults learn and the things that children learn?
Another thought-provoking question.
So our Band 8 test taker says,
Children usually learn basic things like reading, writing, and playing games,
okay,
while adults focus on more complex topics like job skills or personal development.
a good comparison,
Yeah.
but it's missing something.
Like what?
Specific examples.
Oh, right, and maybe explaining why those differences exist.
Okay, let's see what our Band 9 test taker says.
The main difference is that children typically learn foundational knowledge, such as language, math, and social skills, which are essential for their growth. In contrast, adults often pursue specialized skills or knowledge related to their careers or personal interests, which tend to be more practical and goal-oriented.
That answer explains the why.
Right, it's not just stating the differences.
It says children are building a foundation,
Adults are focused on goals.
a more complete view of learning.
And that word contrast.
Yeah.
A simple transition, but so effective.
It makes the answer flow.
Easy to follow.
All right, last question.
Let's do it.
The examiner says, what qualities should a good learner have?
Okay, a classic part 3 question.
Time to reflect on the learning process.
What does it take to be successful?
Our Band 8 test taker says.
A good learner should be curious and willing to try new things. They should also work hard and not give up if something is difficult.
Good qualities.
Essential for any learner.
But let's hear the Band 9 answer.
A good learner should possess curiosity, discipline, and adaptability. They need the motivation to explore new ideas, perseverance to overcome challenges, and an open-minded attitude toward feedback or alternative perspectives.
Wow, that's a great answer.
It is, isn't it?
So many insightful qualities.
And a great vocabulary.
Like curiosity.
Yeah.
It's not just about being interested. It's about being motivated to explore new ideas.
And discipline.
Not just working hard.
It's about perseverance.
It's an adaptability.
So important in today's world.
You have to be able to adjust
To new information, new learning styles.
It shows the test taker is thinking critically.
Applying those qualities to real situations.
So we've heard 5 part 3 questions.
And some amazing answers.
What did you notice as we listened to them all?
The Band 9 answers were just so much deeper.
Yeah, so much more analysis.
They didn't just scratch the surface.
They went deep.
They offered real insights.
It was impressive.
It was so much more analysis, right? Those Band 9 answers didn't just scratch the surface, they really dug deep.
And what really stood out to me was how those Band 9 answers really explained the why.
Yes.
They didn't just give a list of reasons or qualities.
They explored the ideas.
They provided context.
And that's crucial.
It's about demonstrating a sophisticated understanding, you know?
Absolutely.
So let's break down what we learned from these Part 3 answers.
Okay.
What are those key takeaways? What can our listeners apply to their own IELTS prep?
Well, first off, vocabulary is huge.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
The Band 9 answers used a wider range of vocabulary and more complex grammar.
But it wasn't about just using big words for the sake of it.
No.
It was about choosing the right words
Precise and impactful words.
that really enhance your message.
Yeah, think of it like painting a picture.
Oh, like that.
You want to use a fine brush to create those details.
Not just a roller, you know?
Exactly.
And that brings us to another key takeaway.
What's that?
Examples.
Yes, specific examples and details.
The Band 9 answers didn't just make general statements.
They brought those ideas to life.
And it's not just about Part 2 storytelling.
Right,
Even
sure.
in Part 3, when you're discussing abstract concepts, examples make your points more relatable.
More memorable.
So don't be afraid to use examples.
Show the examiner you can connect the dots.
And that connects to another important point.
What's that?
Understanding the nuances of the question.
Oh, that's so important.
The Band 9 test takers really got to the heart of what the examiner was asking.
Yeah, they went beyond the surface.
They showed they were thinking critically.
And that's what the IELTS speaking exam is all about.
It's not just about giving the right answer.
No, it's about showing you can think, engage, discuss.
Analyze information, articulate your ideas.
And do it all in a clear and compelling way.
So remember those 3 key areas: vocabulary examples, depth of analysis,
Those are your tools for success.
and of course, practice, practice, practice.
Can't emphasize that enough.
The more you immerse yourself in English,
The more fluent and confident you'll become.
find opportunities to speak English, read English, listen to English.
Surround yourself with the language.
And most importantly, believe in yourself.
You've got this.
You've taken the time to prepare. You've listened to this deep dive. You're ready to achieve that Band 9.
We believe in you.
So keep practicing, keep learning, keep aiming high.
And until next time, happy studying.